And so this caucus, this movement has to look like the rest of California. And so that's why we are pushing. Let me first of all also say that I'm so proud to be running with and working with R.L. Miller, because what we really need nowadays is bright, energetic environmentalists and feminists and women out there working hard, because we need women in power. So I'm proud to stand with my sister and help lift her up and push her up, because we've got a lot of work to do. We need not only save the planet, we need a green and just economy, and what we need is social and environmental justice. So I hope you can join with us. It's a lot of work. We intend to have a 58-county strategy where we reach out to environmentalists. There are environmentalists in every county, and we need to reach out to them. Hopefully you have one of these flyers. What we're doing in Sacramento. Here we have for many years have had the Green Democrat clubs. And what I personally intend to do is help reach out to every county and give them an opportunity, help them, mentor them, so that they can create clubs that are reaching out for environmental justice, reaching out for a green economy, and here reaching out to save the planet. So please, por favor. And one final thing I want to say is I want to thank all my brothers and sisters that have not only stood up with me, but put up with me. And one last thing, I just want to thank all my mentors that are here. I love to see people like Roger Dickinson is here, Dave Jones, and so many others here that have helped lead the way. We stand on your shoulders, Roger. We stand on your shoulders, Dave. We stand on your shoulders to all those that have helped us help me. So muchísimas gracias. Adelante.
So, I just want to acknowledge I stand on the shoulders of giants. Where are my union brothers and sisters? Fun fact, so my first convention, Dr. Larimore Hall said, Labor Caucus is the biggest caucus in the Democratic Party, and there's no Labor Caucus in the Republican Party. Dirac, are you in here? This is bigger than that one. What's good? I'm also San Bernardino strong. I'm a San Bernardino boy. Any San Bernardino folks? San Bernardino Riverside? Aye, stand up! So, we elected an environmental champion, a school board member, my old school board member, Abigail Medina. She was close. She came close. It wasn't enough that time, but it will be next time. Abigail, are you in here? Is she here? Well, she won't find out later that it's going to be enough next time. So, I'm running for vice chair of legislation. As you know, a lot of progressive initiatives go to die in the assembly, like just real to real, right? Our climate legislation, our labor legislation, our clean money legislation, a lot of it goes to the Senate, a lot of it goes to the assembly, and a lot of it dies there. And we have a lot of experts in street heat here. I see my CNA, I see the red CNA tunics, my CIU brothers and sisters in the back, yeah, I see y'all. We have folks that are kind of skilled in the art and science of pressuring legislators from the districts. And I want to kind of combine that. So regular calls from 58 counties, from 80 assembly districts, from 40 Senate districts. Arnold told me was it last night, 2 nights ago? We were talking, and we have people in almost all of the counties. One of my goals is to make sure that we have delegates, central committee members, club presidents from every single one of the counties in this fine, fine state of California. To set up a rapid response networks on bills so that folks are directly responsible for phone trees in their districts. Old school stuff, right? It's not sexy, it's not interesting, but it's power. It's power and it's how we move, right? I'd like to be part of that with y'all. And next year, if we're seeing that our legislation continues today, I'd like to be partner with y'all on some good old-fashioned legislator accountability. How about it? Because Chevron can spend $6.5 million in my grandmother's town and not elect their favorite assembly member back. And this caucus is bigger than the first labor caucus I know. We can do this. We have done this. We are going to continue to do this. And I don't want to lead that because that's not my job. I'm an organizer. I push from the back. I want to see Aura, our commissioner from LA, making calls. I want to see Melissa on the Central Coast making calls. I want to see our brothers and sisters in labor partnering and going to the AQMB and telling them we need clean air because we are dying because of these EPA regulations. I want our Santa Barbara sisters and brothers to stand up and say, fuck no to drilling in the channel, and let's get rid of oil platform Holly. And instead of just talking about fracking, and I recognize that fracking is a big thing throughout our state. So I'm in LA, right? I live about 2 miles from an oil well in South LA. That our city's built on a pincushion of oil wells and are kept there by bad planning, by irresponsible political engagement, by environmental racism. So instead of fracking, let's get all oil and gas extraction away from homes, schools, and hospitals in urban areas. Culver City, Tom Camarella, I see you. You're dealing with your oil field right now. Let's get fossil fuel money out of our politics, because I know there's gubernatorial candidates coming into this room. And we're going to talk about that. I ask for the opportunity to be your partner in this, to be your servant in this, to be your facilitator in this, regardless of how the vote goes. Because we do take nominations from the floor, and I'd love to see a challenge. I'd like to partner with you on this because, like I said, there was a lot of wisdom, there was a lot of experience, there's a lot of ruthlessness in the room. And let's hitch that together, friends. Let's hitch that together, because this might be the largest caucus in the California Democratic Party, and there is no environmental caucus in the Republican Party. My name is Samuel Superton, and I respectfully ask for your vote for Vice Chair of Legislation. Thank you.
Anybody else want to run against him? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Going 3 times? Okay. May I have a motion, please? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? You don't count. Yeah. Yeah, but he's going to have help. He's going to have lots and lots of help from the people in this room, because we're all going to stand with each other. So, Sam, your vote gets overruled. Any abstentions? Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I can tell you guys are a rowdy bunch. Oil money out. People power in. Oil money out. People power in. You guys got to do better than that if we're going to get these Democrats to stop taking all this money. Let's try this one more time. Oil money out. People power in. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Last year, the oil industry spent $36 million here in the state of California influencing politics, and that's just in lobbying alone. That doesn't include gifts when some of our legislators took a trip to Hawaii or went out to some lavish dinners. It doesn't include what they spent in elections, bankrolling elections, and it doesn't even include the amount of money they spend in our communities, buying new infrastructure for our local responders or whatever else they might be doing. They are filling everyone's pockets. And you know what that means? It's tough to say no to them. But we're going to make our elected officials say no to them, right? That's right, we are. And you know why? Do you guys remember SB 4? It was this study, right? It was a moratorium bill on fracking that came out a few years ago.
No, it wasn't.
It was watered down. They said, we're going to study this.
It's never going to be a moratorium bill.
I
fought that bill, and it was never a moratorium bill.
32% cause cancer, 43% genetic disruptors, 58% are immune suppressants. That's what we know about these chemicals. There's nothing good about that. And we know the well casings are failing. We know that protective lining that keeps those fracking chemicals out of our groundwater fails at a rate. We don't know exactly what that data is because they're not supplying it for us here in the state of California. But what I can tell you is that in places like Pennsylvania, 1 in 20 well casings fail in the first year. If we had 1 in 20 airplanes falling out of the sky, we would not have air travel. Right? So it's time for one, we just got a ban on fracking. But they did this study here, and when they did this study, they started realizing that it wasn't just fracking that was the problem. In fact, the scientists started looking at the data, they started looking at the information, and they saw that they were using things like hydrofluoric acid in a 20% solution indiscriminately in places like LA, right next to where people live, work, and go to school. No, it's not right. Especially because we know and we have stories of people getting sick from this. So the scientists saw this and they said, you know what, fracking's not the problem. Acidizing and well stimulation's not the problem. Oil is the problem because they keep taking hydrofluoric acid and calling it, oh, we're cleaning out a well, we're prepping the well, we're doing routine well maintenance with hydrofluoric acid. There's nothing routine about hydrofluoric acid in your community. So the scientists made a recommendation. They said, let's enact human health buffer zones. Exactly, let's shut it all down. But they said, let's enact human health buffer zones. So this SB4 study came out 2 years ago that Jerry Brown and many of our legislators said, this is going to be the definitive moment on what we do with fracking, oil and gas, and well stimulation here in the state of California. And the scientists said, put in human health buffer zones around these oil operations. And to this day, 2 years later, we don't have that. That is what the $36 million is buying. It's buying the poisoning of our communities, and damn it, we've had it. So, when I say oil money out, you say? Oil money out? Oil money out! That's right. So tomorrow we're doing a rally, 12 noon, in front of the governor's mansion to send a very clear message to Jerry Brown that we want this oil money out and all of our legislators, because in the state of California, we can't blame it on Trump. We can't. We got a supermajority here. It's all Democrats. And baby, we need them to stand up. Now, it's awful easy on them to take this money. But we have to make it a lot more difficult on that. And that means we need to apply pressure. So but I understand, I've heard that a bunch of delegates are going to be joining us tomorrow. And they're going to be walking out and saying, delegates against dirty money. And we're inviting everyone who's a delegate in this room to join us for that walkout at 12 noon tomorrow. I also, like her, don't take a dime from oil companies. I think we need to go further. There's a resolution in California Party which says that the party should take no money from corporations and lobbyists. It's time that we do that as a party. I take no money from PACs or corporate PACs or lobbyists. There's 6 of us in Congress. Tulsi Gabbard actually today announced that she's not going to do it. That makes 7. We need to get the corporate and lobbyist money out of Congress. That's what's going to bring reform. And I really admire all of you because the moonshot for our generation is to take on climate change, to have a carbon tax, to fight for renewable energy and the new jobs that are going to fuel our economy and help save our planet. Thank you for what you do.
So, folks, that was Ro Khanna.
I am running for control of the Democratic Party. Before tonight, how many of you knew
Things are going well.
I am the only candidate running for controller that is talking about the party stopping from taking dirty money, what we call dark money. And we have gotten, we have resolutions, we have platforms, the party ignores
More people watch my show, though, than his show. More people see my show.
Are not the Democratic Party. We are the Democratic Party.
But in that particular show, more people have watched my... She and I are Facebook friends.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
This is Jovanka Beckles. She's my candidate for state assembly up in the Richmond area.
The vice mayor, I took that chance to take $0 from Chevron and any other corporation that wants to come into our city to buy off favors. I'm incredibly proud to be able to stand before a group like you, a group of environmentalists like yourselves, and to be able to say today that I've dedicated my political career to standing up to polluters like big oil, like who? Chevron. We've done that. And other out-of-state interests who wanted to ship coal through our neighborhoods. When I would not lower Richmond's environmental standards, Chevron spent $3 million to unseat myself and other progressives who took this pledge to take no money from them. And when that didn't work, they sued the city. But we will not be intimidated. And I know you all will agree with me when I say well-funded polluters and corporate interests will not sway our efforts. When it comes to our environment and the health of my family, my friends and communities, I will not compromise and I will not stand down. I'm running for Assembly District 15 to continue to protect all Bay Area residents from pollution and to ensure future Californians grow up in a clean and a green state. I'm excited to talk to all of you today at some point about all of my goals and my accomplishments. I'm also equally thankful for the support and work of all of you in this room. Check me out, Javonda.org. I'm a corporate-free, people-powered candidate.
We love her. We love Jovanka. Jovanka.
Hey, girl, what's going on, sister? How you doing?
See you.
Same here.
Yeah.
I thought that was you.
Yeah, that was me. I'm going to get you signing that pledge.
Running for Congress in one of those red to blue, highly flippable states.
Yes. All right.
I'm going to support you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, look at all these candidates. They can't wait to sign this pledge. Yeah. So we got a lot of candidates lining up. Okay, bye.
California environmentalists. It is great to be here. We are in CA 25. My name is Brian Caforio. This is Santa Clarita, Palmdale, Lancaster. And as important here, we had the Aliso Canyon gas leak, unfortunately.
This is going to die also.
And we've got an opponent, Steve Knight, who counts the owner of that facility as one of his top 10 largest contributors in his entire career. So he's doing absolutely nothing to help the people who had to be relocated. He's not fighting to shut it down and keep people safe. And there are a lot of opportunities in our district, however, for the positive. The Antelope Valley is one of the solar and wind capitals of the country.
I do, but how much longer is it going for?
Lancaster has a plan, the first city in California to go net zero by 2020. But they're getting no congressional help with that because Steve Knight doesn't accept climate science. So we need to band together, bringing a healthier environment for everybody. If you want to get involved in a flippable seat in California, CA25 would love your help. Thank you so much.
My name is Tony Thurman.
RL, we're all running out of battery. How much longer?
I'm a candidate for the position of Superintendent of Public Instruction in California. And that's why I passed legislation here in California to provide money to help our families who need health resources and other resources to get their kids back in school. I spent 12 years working in education, running after school programs, teaching life skills, and serving as a school board member. Here in the legislature, I passed legislation to give money to our school districts to make sure our kids graduate high school and go on to college. And I've passed legislation to give money to our foster youth to be able to get a college education in California. My goals as superintendent are to address our teacher shortage. I've got 2 bills this year. One is a bill that provides scholarships to help recruit and retain teachers, and I have a first of its kind bill, a teacher housing bill to provide affordable housing to our teachers in the state of California.
It should be affordable housing for everyone.
Criminalization and state funding in our state, I've introduced a bill that taxes private prisons in California.
Yeah.
And money to the preschool and to our after-school programs.
That's right.
To give our kids a chance to learn. I hope that you'll visit my website, TonyThurman.com, where you'll see that I've been endorsed by U.S. Senator Kamala Harris, Congresswoman Karen Bass. I've been endorsed by our current superintendent, Tom Torlakson, and I hope to earn your endorsement by your vote to be your superintendent. Thank you for fighting for our environment. Thank you for fighting for our kids.
I'm a member of this caucus for 20 years. My name is Dan Call. I'm an Oakland City Council member. Let me ask a question. Who here thinks we need more people, elected office who come from within and have worked full-time as staff or leaders of the environmental community. That's it. Yes, we have other communities, good people from labor unions, from education, from all sorts of wonderful public interest sectors in elective office. We don't have enough environmental leaders in elective office, and I intend to change that. I worked full-time for the Union of Concerned Scientists as an advocate here in Sacramento, working on climate change, being a leader on clean energy legislation, worked for the Sierra Club before that. And as a city council member in Oakland, I wrote out a law to fully divest from fossil fuels. And I took the lead. I took the lead in a very controversial effort in Oakland. I wrote the ordinance to ban coal in Oakland and through Oakland's port. We need to stop coal throughout our state, throughout our country. I took the lead to make that happen in Oakland, and I will work hard to make that happen for all fossil fuels throughout our state. I've been there for the environmental justice communities. I've been there for the environment. I've stood up to oil companies, stood up to coal companies, and I stand with our environmental leaders in Oakland, in the East Bay, throughout the state of California. I'm running for the Assembly in the 15th Assembly District to replace Tony, who's moving on to statewide office. I'm proud to have the support of people in this room. Again, Dan Cobb, Oakland City Council member, 15th Assembly District. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. All right. My name is Katie Hill, and I'm running in the last Republican-held seat in LA County, and I know that next year is the year that we can fix this thing. Thank you. Look, climate change is one of the greatest threats to our planet, and there's nothing that anyone can say that will change that. We have every single second that we wait, that we are not acting and doing everything that we can to fix it, is a second that compounds into the future decades, and it's my generation that is going to have to deal with it. So we need to make sure that our politicians in Washington know that it is no longer okay for them to take that big money and that oil money and every single other dollar that is affecting their decisions to not act in the best interest of their communities and of the people that they're supposed to serve and of our planet, and it's time for that to stop. So I hope you'll join me. My name is Katie Hill, KatieHillForCongress.com, and I look forward to fighting the fight with you. Thank you.
Christy is running also in a highly flippable Assembly District seat in the Los Angeles area. She is uncontested, and I hope that she has your support.
Thank you, environmentalists. And I want to say particular thanks to this caucus. Because of you, the world will be a better place.
Oh, come on.
That you are doing. I want to acknowledge my
I'm live streaming here.
Wherever they are in the room. Nathan, Logan, Julie, Stacy, Alice, Henry, people who have been fighting the good fight in the 38th Assembly District for a long time, where we have 3 solid waste landfills. We have the Aliso Canyon gas leak, and we have a water crisis looming over us, much like the rest of the state, but we are in one of those areas where we have not done enough preparation to make sure that we are prepared for ongoing drought. So the support of the Environmental Caucus and your group is incredibly important. The 21st and the 38th are flippable. If you are in one of those safe blue districts and you know who you are, send your resources, your time, your investment our way, and it will be worth your while for protecting our state and our country. Thank you so much.
So let me just start by saying how excited I am to look at this big room full of people who are in the Environmental Caucus. That is the best news I've had today. Let me say something else. We are the center of the resistance.
Oh, I hate that fucking word.
This hotel is the center of the resistance in the United States of America. So when we think about what that's going to mean, it means we're going to be the people who have to stand up for the rights and values of America. And that's going to go right down the line. If you look at the Health Care Act that they're proposing, it's a direct attack on Californians. If you look at the tax reform bill that they're pushing, that's a huge tax cut paid for out of the pockets of working Californians. And if you look at who they've appointed, and the kinds of executive actions that this administration has taken since it being in office on January 20th, it's absolutely the most short-sighted, dangerous, and self-interested behavior I have ever seen in American politics. We have absolutely no choice what to do about this. We have to be organized. So if you look and see what happened in 2016, where we were organized in the state of California, where we worked with 39 groups to register 807,000 Californians, we won. If you look around the United States of America, where we were organized and went and talked to people, we won. We were on 370 college campuses, not talking about candidates, talking about energy, talking about climate, talking about what a progressive energy future looks like. So let me say this to the Environmental Caucus. It is totally on us. We will only win this in a progressive coalition with the rest of the people in the Democratic Party and the other progressives. So it is absolutely on us to be organized, to stick to our guns. It is time for us to stop letting these people get away with their lives. We have to call them out aggressively, and we have to start being absolutely unilateral in what we want. Because the fact is, everybody here who reads climate data, it's bad. Much worse, much sooner than anybody expected. So I pledge to you that we will be as strong on this as we can possibly imagine being, because we have no choice, and because we also know that if we do, we will create more jobs, we will create better jobs, we will have cleaner air and healthier citizens, and oh, by the way, we will create a future for our children that is worth living.
What we've done in the Central Valley is we have been trying to grow a coalition of people. We're trying to get a block of Democrats to actually involve in not only the bigger races for Congress, but also school boards, water commissions, every little thing, because if you don't have people on school boards, you can't even get solar panels. And right? Just the little races matter more than sometimes the top, because you need the environmental efforts at your local community. So I have already reached out to people from Kearns County, from Tulare County. I want to build a coalition in the Central Valley that actually addresses environmental issues. I am tired of Democrats selling out to big oil money in my area just because we shouldn't have to do this just to compete with Republicans. We need to bring in renewable energy to the Central Valley. It's not a question of like when, we have to do it now. We have to get started. We have to start working together on these issues and getting people elected to local office. So I really hope people from the Central Valley and around the state will get started and communicate with us on who the best fit for the environmental groups are, the political offices are. So please reach out. I will be a part of the political outreach groups and teams, and I'm a great note taker. So I really hope you guys will support me. Thank you.
Candidates for governor, lieutenant governor, and other statewide offices to please come up to the microphone, be prepared to sign the pledge, and talk for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay. I first need to very quickly ask that people renominate Igor Trigo. He is not here to give a speech. As I said before, he's in Kazakhstan, which counts. So moved? Okay. Anybody else want to run for treasurer? Going once? Going twice? Going twice? Going 3 times? Okay. And there's a motion to... Okay, and seconded? Okay. All those in favor of electing Igor Trigo as treasurer, please say aye. Aye. And all those opposed? Any abstentions? Awesome. I present to you our Environmental Caucus, Igor, for now. Do we have any statewide officials in the House who want to address the caucus or candidates for statewide office? I have gotten an indication from Gavin Newsom that he cannot be here between 5:15 and 5:30, but his political director represents that he will sign the pledge. The pledge will be here after today and in the hall tomorrow, so he will have an opportunity to sign the pledge. And you'll have an opportunity to watch him do it.
This isn't working.
Yes? Dave Jones!
So this is Dave Jones, the insurance commissioner, just signed the pledge.
Dave, do you want to say anything to our caucus? You've got 1 minute, and I'm strict about the time.
Hello, Environmental Caucus. I'm Dave Jones. I'm not a new face to this caucus, and as you know, as your insurance commissioner, I've been asking insurance companies what are they doing about climate risk. And in January of last year, I became the first financial regulator in the United States to ask a financial sector to divest from thermal coal. And for good measure, I asked them to publicly disclose their investments in oil, gas, and utilities, and why? Because as your insurance commissioner, I want them holding assets that retain value, not assets that drop in value as we move away from a carbon-based economy. Now, as a result of this leadership, I was invited to a meeting of the Financial Stability Board of the G20 because they're trying to figure out what to do with banks and bank lending, and they wanted to know what your insurance commissioner is doing with insurance. And I'm proud to represent you here in California, in the United States, and internationally in doing everything we can to make sure insurance companies are addressing climate risk. And I'm also proud to announce to you that I'm running for the office of California Attorney General. And I pledge to you that I'll be an environmental attorney general to fight to keep our air clean, to keep our water clean, to hold polluters accountable, and to do what AG Schneiderman has done in New York, and that is open an investigation of Chevron. When did they know it? When did they know it? So tonight at 10 o'clock, please join us at our hospitality suite. We've got ice cream. Everybody loves ice cream. And also come by our booth. I'd love to have each and every one of your personal endorsements. Check us out at davejones2018.com. And together, we'll make sure to protect California's environment and lead the nation in making sure that we protect the nation's environment and the environmental laws and policies we hold dear in California. Thank you very much.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Fiona Mall, would you like a moment? Yes. 1 minute.
This is Fiona Ma. I forget what she is, though. She's got some elected office.
Good evening, Democrats. It is my honor to be here as your friendly tax collector on the State Board of Equalization. But I am running for state treasurer next year to be like Dave Jones, to be a progressive voice for banking reform, making sure everyone can buy California bonds, make sure that we know where our local and city governments are in terms of their financial stability. As a CPA, I think I am qualified to be your next banker as your state treasurer. But I do want to give a shout out to Dan Jacobson, who is here with Enviromental California. When I first got elected to the board, the state assembly, we passed the nation's first toxic toy ban, banning phthalates from baby products, which now is law of the land because of Dan Jacobson. And that same year, November 2008, I made sure that high-speed rail was on the ballot. And during the worst financial crisis, it passed with close to 53%. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to sit on the freeways, 6-lane freeways, and I'd like to have an option. So thank you all for being here. I know you have a lot of speakers. Fiona Ma for State Treasurer. Thank you.
There aren't a lot of people that I give drop-in at any time privileges to my caucus. One of those is the Senate Pro Tem. His name is Kevin De Leon.
Thank you so much, RL. Democrats, how are we feeling tonight? I said, how are we feeling today? Do we want 100% clean energy? Do we want to eliminate fracking? Do we want to make sure that our children can breathe clean air into their lungs and drink clean water? Democrats, we have to do everything within our power to make sure that we defeat every single pernicious measure coming out of Washington. Because Scott Pruitt and Rick Perry, who can't fight, you're absolutely right. I was just told not to say any dirty words. You're absolutely right. I don't want my mouth to be washed out by any soap today. So we have to do everything within our power as Democrats in the greatest state, in the greatest nation in the entire world. To fight any attempt to undermine our clean energy policies, our climate leadership, our clean air, safe water drinking laws, because they are the best in the entire nation. There's no state like California's measures. No state. Every other nation looks at California as a model that they can emulate. And we have proven here in California that we can take on climate change and actually create real jobs in the wind and solar space, geothermal space, electrification, transportation, clean cars, ZEVs, zero-emission vehicles, electric vehicles. This is possible, my friends, because of the activism, because of what you do every single day, how you inspire us and motivate us in the state capitol. We don't wait for direction when it comes to Washington. We take action here in the great state of California. I won't say that much more because there's a lot I'm going to say later on tomorrow I'm looking forward to. I know there's a party later on tonight. It's the Bad Hombre and Nasty Women party. And I know when it comes to clean energy and climate change and clean water and clean air, we got a lot of bad hombres, we got a lot of nasty women here tonight, and we're gonna make sure we send a message to Washington and elsewhere throughout the whole world that California will continue to be the premier model for the entire world when it comes to climate change. With that, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Can you turn and look at us?
Kevin, question. Okay. So wait, one quick question. I understand that you have instructed your delegates to vote for Eric Bauman. Is that true? And would you release your delegates to vote their conscience? Vote. He said my delegates are going to vote for who they're going to vote for.
I'm a candidate for governor of the state of California. Many of you know me as the former superintendent of public instruction. Prior to that, I served in the legislature where I wrote the biggest landfill cleanup bill in the state's history. I wrote the bill that requires people that make bottles in California to use a minimum content of recycled glass. I wrote the legislation that outlawed the dumping of white goods, washers, dryers, and refrigerators into landfills. Because in graduate school at UC Santa Barbara, I did a paper on the politics of Bayfill, and it opened my whole world environmentally. So I'm a life member of the Sierra Club, and I belong to every other environmental organization you can imagine. And I'm here to tell you that I'm going to fight for a green California, and of course we should ban fracking in California. Get rid of the frickin' fracking, for heaven's sakes. And of course we need to fight for a great environment, because at the end of the day, children are a living message we send to a time we will never see. Neil Postman said that. I want to send our kids into the future with clean water, with great schools, great education, from preschool to graduate school. But I want to make sure that we do some long-range thinking so that we can build an infrastructure where we have enough water. Think of all that water that went into the ocean this year, record year of rainfall. And yet so much of that water went into the ocean. You have people still talking about building reservoirs. Don't look now. We don't have a lot of places we could even put a reservoir. We ought to be using the water we've got more smartly, and we ought to be recycling more water and doing the things that everybody in this room knows we need to do. I'm Delaney Easton, and I'm going to fight for tomorrow in California. Thank you all very much for being environmentalists and being Democrats.
Delane Easton running for governor, and you just heard Kevin DeLeon refuse to say whether he had instructed his delegates to vote for Eric Bauman or not. He said, quote, "My delegates are going to do what they're going to do," unquote.
Good afternoon, Democrats. I'm Scott Svonkin, and I'm running for the Board of Equalization, and I want your support. I lead the largest, greenest community college district in the nation in Los Angeles. We have put solar power across our campuses. We train people in environmental sciences. Together, with your help, I'm going to go after people that cheat on their taxes. And who are they? They're people that pollute our air and our water and our land. And together, I'm going to get your support this weekend for next year's endorsement by the state party. I'm proud to be president of the LA Community College Board. I'm proud to have almost every statewide elected official endorsing me. Betty Yee, Javier Becerra, John Chung, you name a statewide elected except the governor and lieutenant governor, and they're on my team. I want you on my team. I have cookies for every delegate, so if you want a cookie, there's a good fortune in there. Go to Svonkin.com to endorse me. I'm going to go after tax cheats. I don't care where they live. If they live in a house that's white, I'm going after tax cheats. God bless you.
Eleni Hernandez, I'm sorry, I cannot begin to pronounce your last name. Yes, Eleni is in the house. Is Ed Hernandez also in the house? Okay, somebody's going to go get him. We're going to start our panel very shortly, by the way. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Okay, all right, 60 seconds.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eleni Kounalakis. In 1992, I was a staffer at the California Democratic Party, and I helped Barbara Boxer get elected.
Boo. Barbara Boxer is a sellout.
In 2000, I was a delegate for Al Gore. And I learned from Al Gore that you can grow the economy and you can protect the environment. And year after year, California has shown that first you protect the environment and the economy follows. That is who we are. I was a United States ambassador for President Barack Obama. He signed the most important climate accord in the history of the world, and I'm proud to have served in that administration.
He quadrupled fracking.
And what is happening in Washington, D.C. right now is absolutely unacceptable. We are going to resist. We are going to fight for California, for our clean air and clean water. I am running for Lieutenant Governor of California. I am also a mom, and when I am elected the first woman Lieutenant Governor of California, I'm going to fight for the environment. I'm going to fight with you, and we are going to continue to lead the nation. Thank you.
They're all going to fight until they get elected, and then they don't do jack shit.